Hello and welcome to Football City TV. My name is Marcus Lee. Nuno Espirito Santo has been sacked as the manager of Nottingham Forest. Oh my gosh, this was breaking news last night. I'm just reacting to it this morning, the morning after. I actually did my Premier League predictions yesterday, late to the party I know, but I did my 25-26 Premier League predictions about what would happen, and one of the things I tried to guess right was who will be the first manager to get sacked. I actually thought it would be Graham Potter at West Ham based on the shaky start that they had had. How wrong was I that 3 games in, it turned out to be Nuno? Absolutely. I'm surprised by that. I'm genuinely surprised by that. I suppose you could look at some things that have been said recently, things we've heard, some comments that have come out about the relationship between the owner and the manager. You know, maybe things weren't too wonderful. We had Nuno making some comments, I think it was after the Brentford game, where he was talking about the relationship with Marinakis, saying that, you know, yeah, we used to be close, the relationship was good, but now not so much. Maybe that's about disappointment with the summer transfer window. Maybe he was just speaking out and being honest. Maybe he thought the writing was on the wall, so he thought, I'll bite first. But, you know, those comments have come back to bite him now, and he is no longer the manager. So Nuno is going, and I gotta say, I do feel a little bit sad. I'm not a Forest fan, but I think a lot of people can say that we like Nuno. He seemed like a nice guy. He seemed like a great manager. He seemed like the kind of guy who put his arm around the players. And you know what? He's done some amazing things for Forest. You know, took over from Steve Cooper when they were in a relegation battle, and he's taken them from fighting to stay in the Premier League to actually doing very, very good things in the Premier League. Last season, you know, fighting for Europe, and obviously they're in Europe now. But, you know, we saw last season when they spent certainly the first half of the season in like 2nd and 3rd position. No one expected that from Forest, you know, playing for a Champions League position after the season they'd had prior to that. So Nuno did some absolutely wonderful things for Forest, and, you know, I think he can leave with his head held high. He's done some wonderful things, but now we move on to the future. By the way, who wants to work for that owner? Because that Marinakis guy, he just looks like a mob boss. I mean, like, you know, we saw him coming onto the pitch at the end of last season. We saw him doing comments, doing interviews next to Gibbs White, where he just looked like Suge Knight, saying, this is my player, he's not leaving. And Gibbs White stood next to him like, yes, I love Mr. Marinakis. You know, everything is wonderful here. I'm thinking, blink, mate, if you're scared. So that dude is a beast. And also, he just come out and said, you know, everything with Nuno is absolutely fine. I back the manager. I wonder if that's the kiss of death when owners come out and say, yes, I back the manager when things are difficult. Because how many times have we seen an owner come out and said, yes, I back the manager, and then 5 games later that manager is gone? You know, that does happen. So we look to the future, and now we're looking at who is going to replace Nuno. So the betting odds say that the favourite at the moment is Postecoglou. I believe that Mourinho is second. Who else is in the mix? Brendan Rodgers is in the mix apparently, and I think Sean Dyche's name has been mentioned, and Marco Silva as well. Listen, if Postecoglou gets it, I think that'd be really interesting. Good to see him back in the Premier League. It'd be interesting to see if he can fulfill that thing of, I always win something in my 2nd season. I think the Forest fans would love that, because how long is it since they've won silverware? It'd be very interesting to see if Postecoglou can do that. Personally though, I'd love to see Mourinho back in the Premier League, because Mourinho's just box office man. You know, how excited would it be to see Mourinho, you know, doing that in a press conference and saying, you know, I am the manager of Nottingham Forest. Jamie Redknapp is not the manager of Forest. You know, that'd be absolutely fantastic. Love to see that. Brendan Rodgers, no disrespect to the man, but I don't think it's a very exciting appointment. Much like Sean Dyche, I don't think fans think, all right, we've got Dyche coming in now. Yeah, this is going to be the dawn of a new day. You know, what happens going forward? And you've also got to think about this next manager. How quickly do they get this manager in? Because this Saturday, Forest are playing Arsenal. Who wants their first game as a manager to be against Arsenal? You know, it's like going for your first day at school and it's like, hey, do you want to come in and have a friendly kickabout where you get to chill and watch movies, or do you want to do an exam about quadratic equations? Do you know what I'm saying? I don't even know what a quadratic equation is. You know, it's like, who wants to go in and have that difficult challenge for your first experience as the Nottingham Forest manager? So interesting, you know, this is why we love football. It'd be really interesting to see what happens, really excited to see who takes over. Going to take over with a great squad, you know, a really good group of players. I mean, respect to Nuno. You got to remember that last season was a great season for Forest. You know, they beat Liverpool at Anfield. They did the double over Man United. They were fighting for Champions League spots and ended up, you know, in Europe. It's a great season. So moving forward, things are, you know, the future's bright at Forest. So whatever manager comes in, you know, is going to inherit a great squad. It's a great club to be at, massive pedigree. A team that belongs in Europe. Forest is going to be a great job for whichever manager takes that. So I wonder, who do you think will take the job at Forest? What do you think of Nuno's legacy? Do you think Nuno will be back in management quickly? Do you reckon he's going to take a long break, Graham Potter style, and then, you know, make his decision carefully? What is going to happen next? Let me know what you think about this sacking, and let me know what you think about the future of the manager position at Nottingham Forest. This is Football City TV, brand new channel, talking about football news, talking about mental health, talking about the beautiful game that we love. Please get involved, sign up to the channel, subscribe, give this video a like, share this video with a friend, and let's grow a community and let's keep talking about this beautiful game that we love. My name is Marcus Lee. Thank you for watching Football City TV. I'll see you on the next one. Take care.